Hey everyone, so what we're going to do now is do an ink stream alignment on the KGK print head. Instances you might need to do this is if you're finding a lot of ink inside your print head whenever you open up at the end of the day for your daily clean. If you're seeing some sections of your message actually getting cut off during printing. This is a fairly quick thing we can do. We're just going to jump right in and take a look at it. So you will have as part of what your kit, this KGK toolkit. In there, you're actually going to find this lovely little Phillips head. That's all we're going to need for today. So I've got this blue tray. I've got some solvent here on my wash bottle. All I'm going to need to do is to take my print head cover off. Let's pop that off to the side. Also making sure that my sensor is well out of the way because the front of this sensor is actually plastic and solvent will melt the plastic. So generally, if you've got issues, you'll notice a lot of ink, especially on these plates. And I'm going to give you a demonstration just to show you what the issue is. So the first thing I'll do is go into menu and then go to maintenance. I'm just going to jump into unit information. Essentially, this just gives us the ability to turn off certain pumps and valves manually. So I'm going to click maintenance here. And it's actually just going to turn the pressure off of the machine. I'm actually going to put the pump back on, which is this P. And then I'll click head, main circulation, and then that more or less puts us into the natural state of the machine when it's just running on its own. So what I'm going to do now is at the top here, these green arrows are to actually move the gutter manually. These single arrows are just to move it when I'm pressing and holding. The double ones is kind of like fast forward, so it jumps the whole way. I'm going to press this one, and then the print head will open the whole way up. And what we're going to look for is to see if any ink as the print head moves forward into position, if any ink catches the edge of the gutter and actually sprays here. So let's just take a look and see what happens. So right there, I didn't see any ink. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to close the gutter, just see what that looks like, just there. Now I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a lot of ink actually running through, and it's interesting because on the way out it's fine, but on the way back it isn't. So it's always good to extend and retract the gutter when you're testing this, just to see and ensure that there's nothing wrong. So the first thing I'm going to do is just give this a little bit of a clean. And I'm just going to spray some solvent fairly liberally. As I said, everything's solvent proof on here, so you don't need to worry too much. I'm going to extend this gutter back out again. Now I'll take a look at what's wrong, and then we can make a couple of quick calls on what it is that we want to do. And there was actually a little bit of ink that time that caught. Always good just to know if you're performing any maintenance. In an ideal world, you can let the machine run for a little while first, just so the ink temperature gets up to running temp. It can always be a little bit advantageous. So what am I looking for? Now there's two screws here, a yellow one and a green one. Now my yellow screw that's just half hidden here, this is actually the vertical position of my ink stream. So it's going to actually lift my ink stream up and down for it to determine where it hits the gutter. And this green screw on the side, that's actually going to be my lateral or horizontal movement, and that's going to determine if I'm going to the left or right of this. So if you have a look in your maintenance manual, you'll actually see that the vertical position of this ink stream should be 5 to 5, which means it should be dead center vertically. And in terms of the horizontal or left to right, which again is controlled with this green screw here, should actually be slightly to the left. So they say if it's 0 to 10, it should be at the 3 position, so 3 points from the left and 7 points from the right. So I'm just going to take a look at this. It's probably not going to be able to pick it up on the camera, but you will be able to serve your eyes. Now this one in front of me looks fairly okay in my left to right position. A little bit high in my vertical, so I'm actually just going to lower this just a smidge. You'll see it's quite hard to sometimes see. It can be good to get a sheet of paper or something or another set of hands there. And I actually am just going to make a minor adjustment here because it looks like I'm almost dead center here. Just going to bring myself out to the left. So that's all I need to do, just those 2 adjustments. There's no locking or unlocking screws. I just make the adjustment and I'm good to go. So what I'm going to do now is just close this off again and see if I get that ink stream. You can see there's quite a bit of it. It's quite bad. So whatever I've done appears to have made it worse. So I'm just going to double check that again. And again, let's do this a little bit of a clean. And it's okay, it can take a few times. It's a very fine piece of engineering and machinery. So it's not always a one-hit wonder, so to speak. Just going to open this up again. Cool. All right, so I can now see a little bit clearer, and I'm actually vertically too low. I'm actually just going to raise myself back up again. So I've gone far too far. All right, let's close this off again. I'm still just a bit low there, as I can see. Just gonna open this up. Just try to clear some of this ink just to make it super obvious if anything is coming out of the print head. When you're putting solvent on here, always a good idea just to let it dry off before you're opening and closing it, because otherwise the solvent can interfere. Alright, so you can see you can take a couple of turns just to get in the right position. For this situation where there's no ink spraying as it's opening and closing is what I want. I want that 5 to 5, so dead center up and down, and 3 to 7 left to right. If you're finding that you think you've got it there but it's not quite, it's so fine and so difficult to see, it can be worthwhile just playing around just a little bit. But if you can see that there's no ink stream, no ink spraying around it, then that's probably a pretty good indication that you've done a good job of getting it done. So all I'm going to do now, before I just put this cover back on, is just give everything a little bit of a spray. I'll wait for that solvent to dry, and I'll put my head back on, and then I'm good to go. Once we're exiting our maintenance menu, all we're going to do is just click this button here, and the system will just go back into its normal operation. Alright guys, so that's a quick rundown on extreme alignment. Thanks for watching. Cheers.